Most people don't fail in the gym because they lack information. They fail because they focus on the wrong things. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what matters, what doesn't, and how beginners should be training if they want real results. The first thing that you must understand is that getting in shape is a very simple process. It's just very difficult to execute. I'd estimate that 80 to 90% of your results come down to just a few core things. Consistency, eating enough protein while tracking calories, training hard in the gym, and getting good sleep. Your split exercise selection and rep ranges matter, but far less than people think. Even if all of those things are chosen suboptimally, if you're consistently eating enough protein, training hard, and sleeping well, you will make significant progress. I guarantee it. That doesn't mean that your training plan is irrelevant, but the internet loves to argue about tiny details that only add marginal benefit. I always want people to lock in on what actually matters before worrying about all of the smaller stuff. So just to re-emphasize, consistency, high protein, tracked calories, and good sleep will determine 80 to 90% of your results in the gym. Before you stress about anything else, make sure you are executing all of those things as well as you possibly can. Specifically, as far as protein, I recommend aiming for around 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So if you weigh 100 pounds, you should be trying to get somewhere between 80 and 100 grams of protein every single day. For calories, find a maintenance calorie calculator online, plug in your information, and try to stay around the number it gives you each day. It won't be perfect, but in most cases, it will be close enough. If you want to lose weight, eat about 200 calories less than that number each day. If you want to gain weight, eat about 200 calories over that number each day. Another thing that beginners must understand is that the goal in the gym is progression, but only with good form. Over time, you should be trying to add reps, set, or weight to each of your exercises. If the numbers you're lifting are not slowly going up over weeks and months, something is off. Either you're not training hard enough, not eating enough, not recovering well, or you're not being consistent. That being said, progression only matters if your form is solid and you're actually hitting the muscle you're trying to grow. Adding weight at the expense of form does not count. If the weight is swinging, bouncing, or turning into a completely different movement, it's too heavy. Every rep should be controlled and you should be able to feel the target muscle doing the work. If you're just moving weight from point A to point B without feeling the muscle, you're missing the point. So the goal is simple. Use good form, make sure you're training the intended muscle, and then slowly progress reps or weight over time. That combination is what drives long-term growth, especially for beginners. The next thing that you must understand about fitness is that there is no such thing as a perfect workout routine. There are no perfect splits, exercises, or rep ranges that are going to magically skyrocket your results. What matters is building a routine that matches your goals and that you can stick to it consistently. Before building a plan, ask yourself, what am I really trying to get out of the gym? You may want a bigger chest, or maybe bigger arms, or potentially a smaller waist. But at the end of the day, your goals should indicate how you structure your training. That being said, here are some core principles to help you build your own plan. First, any muscle group that you really want to grow or you think is lacking, you should be training it at least twice a week, not just once. You don't need a full week to recover a muscle. Training a muscle only once per week also usually leads to people doing an excessive amount of sets in a single session, which leads to the next rule. Aim for about 5 to 8 high quality sets for each muscle per session. I definitely wouldn't recommend going over 10 sets for one muscle in a single session. For rep ranges, anywhere from 5 to 25 reps work. As long as you're pushing yourself hard within that range, your muscles will grow. When it comes to intensity, if you're a complete beginner, I probably wouldn't recommend training to all-out failure yet. Try and stop 1 to 2 reps short. Beginners often get so sore from failure training that it can just become counterproductive. As you gain experience and recover better, you can start training closer to failure, and you should. If you've been training for around a year, I highly recommend at least taking some steps to failure. I personally believe that training harder leads to better results, but only if your body can handle it. Soreness isn't bad whatsoever, but if it gets to the point where you can barely get out of bed and your muscles are like raw to the touch, you overdid it and you need to pull back. For rest days, I recommend from 1 to 3 per week. I personally usually do 2 rest days per week, sometimes 1. So to recap all of these rules I just went over to help you build your routine, you should train lagging muscle groups at least twice per per week, no more than 10 sets per muscle per session, ideally somewhere between 5 to 8. Use a 5 to 25 rep range and train near or to failure, and take 1 to 3 rest days per week. You can use these principles to create a plan tailored to you, but I also want to give a few splits that work extremely well for the majority of people. For most people, I recommend a variation of push-pull legs with 2 rest days. That's 2 push days, 2 pull days, and 1 leg day per week. Most people like to run this Monday through Friday and take the weekends off, but you can place the rest days wherever you want. This split lets you train all upper body muscles twice per week without completely neglecting legs, while still allowing enough recovery. If your priority is upper body development, this split works extremely well. If you care more about leg development or want more balanced training, I'd recommend an upper-lower split. You train upper body twice per week and lower body twice per week. Prioritize compound movements and focus on gradually getting stronger over time. This split is especially good for beginners because it allows for more recovery while still hitting muscles twice per week. Training 4 days a week also feels much more manageable for a lot of new lifters. As for exercise selection, keep it simple. Exercises matter far less than people think as long as you're consistent in training hard. Choose exercises that clearly target the muscle you're trying to grow and perform them with good form. Pick a few basic movements for each muscle group and focus on getting stronger at them week after week. That is far more important than trying to find the perfect exercises. At the end of the day, fitness is not complicated. It's simple, but it's not easy. If you consistently eat enough protein, track your calories, train hard with good form, progressively get stronger over time, sleep well, and give your body enough recovery, you will make progress. There's no way around it. You do not need the perfect routine, you do not need the perfect exercises, and you do not need to obsess over small details that barely move the needle. What matters is showing up week after week and executing the basics consistently. Most people don't fail because they don't know enough. They fail because they stop doing the simple things long enough for them to work. So focus on the fundamentals. Train with intent, use good form, progress over time, and be patient. Results come from months and years of consistency, not days or weeks of motivation. If you can commit to that, your physique will change. Not because you found a secret, but because you finally actually did what works. I appreciate you for watching the video. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and drop a 7 in the comments if you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.